Welcome to Talk Flicks with Just Chicks today, and we are going to be talking about the new movie 5 Feet Apart.
I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Will Newman.
6 feet apart at all times. You both know the rules.
God, you're beautiful. You're brave. Wish I could touch you.
Stay away.
6 feet at all times. I got it.
1 foot. Just 1 foot closer.
So 5 Feet Apart is directed by Justin Baldoni. It's actually based off of a true story of a woman named Claire Wineland, who actually had CF and started a foundation. So when I first saw the trailers for this movie, I was like, okay, this is an interesting concept where, these people who are in love with each other cannot, be more than or less than, 5 feet apart. And actually, it was supposed to be 6 feet, but in the movie, you find out why it's called 5 feet apart, because they, say, you know what, I'm gonna steal a foot away from this disease because it stole so much from my life. I'm taking back something from it. And so I just thought the story in itself was just very, very interesting. And they actually, after seeing it, it made me want to go and kind of look up, the lady whose story is based off of. And then just that disease, 'cause I had never heard of CF before.
But I heard of it, but I didn't know what it impacted or anything like that. I had no idea what it really meant to have that disease, but I had heard of it before.
Yeah, I had never heard of cystic fibrosis. But man, it's like asthma on steroids. Like, you cannot, all that mucus and stuff.
Very devastating.
Devastating disease. And so one of the things that I liked about this movie was the acting. First of all, I thought the lady who played Stella, I think her name is Haley Richardson, and the guy who played Will, which I believe his name is Cole Sprouse, they did a really, really good job. And actually, when I was looking it up, it said that they had actually spent time with Claire, the lady whose story this actually is, before she had passed away. So I think that really helped to just really kind of bring out that authenticity in their acting, because, pretty much everyone down the line was good, but definitely the main characters, very believable. And, you just really just felt for them. It really just kind of tugged at your hearts. And I'm not, one of those emotional type of moviegoers, but this one really was kind of like, oh, this is just this situation. When you love somebody, you can't even get them a hug.
Well, it just really makes you think about the physicality of love, because you always think of it as just this entity in your mind and in your heart, but it also is the stronger component is that physical touch of love. And
yes, and that's one thing it started out with in the very beginning. It talked about just the power of touch, and even at the end they kind of summed it all.
Well, they looped it right back around to the beginning, and I really
liked that.
Enjoyed that form of storytelling.
Yes.
And one of the stronger moments in the movie was when her best friend died, and she was like, "My best friend died, and I have never even hugged him."
I know that was the part that got me. And
that was just very powerful. Could you imagine?
Yes,
losing someone that close to you, and you don't even have any memories of touch.
Right.
All of these memories of you guys, of you two, with this distance between you, this physical distance between you. And it just really drove home that idea about, not taking certain things for granted, in your relationships.
Absolutely. And I love movies like that have, excuse me. I love movies like that have that message. You know what I mean? And it's a really clear message, and it's a really relatable message of, amongst, every type of person everywhere on the earth. And so I just really love the message. Like I said, the storytelling was good. I love when the opening, loops back around to the ending. It all kind of comes full circle. A lot of times you don't get that with movies. That very first scene was something that was, very, very critical to the actual plot and message of the movie. One of the things I also liked was the character Barbara. Barb, yes, the nurse for both. Well, actually, I think she was the nurse for the whole floor.
Well, she was one of the nurses. There were some other.
There were other nurses,
that were there.
But she was kind of like
the one that seemed to be attached to them the most. Those were like her babies.
Yeah. And she just has such I feel a powerful character, not just because, she's a black woman, so I'm going to relate to her, but just that love that she has for them. It was just really kind of touching. And a lot of times, like, particularly nowadays, I personally feel like doctors are very kind of not as personal with their clients, to me. But this one, it was like, she was very, like she understood that they were in love, but she was really, just serious about them not, getting, closer than 6 feet. And she was just, she just had that kind of powerful type of character, what I mean? And, she was funny.
Well, she was really kind of like the parent for the whole movie because you didn't see, but maybe 2-3 scenes max of these kids' parents,
right?
I don't think you ever saw any scenes of Poe's parents.
No.
So she was the authoritative figure for these young adults, because they weren't really kids; they were young adults. And you just really got the chemistry of how much they cared for each other, not just how much she cared for them, but how much they cared for her and trusted her.
Right. The movie, I know we went to go see it late, so it seemed a little bit long. But then when I started to think about it, I was like, actually, I think it was just the previews kind of skewed my perception of this movie. I think it was a good length. I think it has some scenes that could have been cut.
I felt,
but I feel like bit. What scenes?
The birthday surprise scenes, like. I don't think we needed to see every single one of the surprise balloons. Like, I felt like once you saw it twice, you already knew where that was going. So just scenes like that. I think there were a lot of scenes showing them taking their regimen together that could have been condensed into one short, montage. But other than that, I mean, I'm not saying that it took away from the movie. It was just, I was kind of conscious of the time, like, well, we have been in this movie theater for a while, but I was enjoying myself at the same time, so I wasn't upset about it in the least. I really enjoyed this movie a whole lot.
Yeah. One of the scenes that was probably the most powerful for me, well, it was just emotional, I'll say, was when, she falls into the ice and he's like trying to save her, and it's like, well, they're not supposed to be less than 6 feet apart, but then he's like, okay, she is done. I have to give her that mouth to mouth, and just like him just trying to figure out, okay, am I going to try to save her and then kill her by, actually.
Well, he was already risking it by getting her out of the ice.
Right.
And then once he saw that she was unconscious, he was like, well, let me try calling. And he was like, well, I don't know if I should call.
And then it was just,
she might not make it by the time
she
they
might
get her.
not make it. And then it was just like, just that, the pressure of that decision making him like trying to figure, okay, what do I do? Like, this is a situation where it's almost like you damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, it's a catch-22. And so he's like, I'm going to go and try to save her. And I actually thought he was dead when he was trying to give her the mouth, and then he just kind of
unconscious. I think.
Because he didn't have that breath, right? Because all of them, their lungs are just
oxygen.
not working at full capacity. So, and that was one of the things I was like, well, he can't save her anyway because he cannot.
But he kept trying. He did not think that he was going to save her, but he just kept trying.
He kept trying
because he was so desperate.
And they say the compressions are really the most important part anyway in CPR. So he did what he could.
Well, especially when you've consumed water like that, because that's what's going to get that eject thing going on where you vomit up all of that water.
Right. And one of the things I was thinking, I was like, well, with bacteria and stuff, like a lot of they're very temperature sensitive. So like in warmer temperatures they thrive, but then in colder temperatures not so much. And so I think because some people were probably like, oh, that's unrealistic, she should have had whatever because he was whatever. But I think with the climate they were in, with it being really really cold, even though he was probably transferring bacteria, it couldn't live or survive because of the actual temperatures that they were in. So I was like, okay, that's believable. But yeah, that was
they were just blessed and highly
they were blessed and highly favored. But I also think there's a little bit of scientific stuff in there. But yeah, this movie was really good. I really,
it really bothers me that this movie, because I was telling our niece about it. And she was like, huh? I never heard of that, And that was so unfortunate that
this movie didn't get the marketing that it should have.
I saw
but their budget was only $7 million.
Yeah, I saw the trailer a couple of times in front of, I think it was Captain Marvel. But normally, especially being on YouTube, you usually get a lot of the trailers.
I don't think. Yeah,
and I don't think I saw this trailer not one time on YouTube. As far as like an advertisement, and it's so unfortunate.
It is.
Didn't have, or I won't say they didn't have, but they didn't spend more money on marketing, because the trailer was great. I remember seeing it and was like, man, I really want to go see that. That
the story
really
itself was just like, wow, that is crazy. And it really makes you think about, your loved ones, and like you need to hug them and touch them and let them know that you love them, because some people can't even do that. And I'm just like, wow, that's such a powerful message. And I feel like more people, like you said, need to see that, because we take people for granted. You don't know when the last time you're gonna get to hug somebody or see somebody or anything. And so like I said, that line, we talked about, she said to Paul, like, dang, I didn't even get to hug my best friend. That was the part that really got me, like, dang, like, this is just the tragedy. It's unbelievable. So what would you rate this movie, Nicole?
I would probably, I don't want to say probably, I will rate this movie an A. I enjoyed it from beginning to end. I thought that the story was very well composed. I thought the movie was very well shot. I thought the acting was superb. I really can't think, besides of those few scenes that dragged a little bit for me, I can't think of any. Because the funny thing is, a lot of times they'll put their best jokes for a movie in the trailer. And so when you get to the movie, it doesn't really hit, nobody laughs. But the same parts from the trailers, I laughed, even seeing it in context, I laughed again. And that's good comedy to me. And you definitely needed it in a movie like this.
Yes, it was. The timing on that was really, really good. Poe was kind of like the comedic relief in many instances.
And Stella too, she had some good.
Yeah, she had some good. And Will was kind of funny too. So and we was laughing at Barb because we were like, oh, she remind me of somebody in my family. So yeah, it had a lot of good things to really just kind of take you through that emotional ride where you're happy and then you're sad, then you're laughing. And so movies like that can really kind of take me on that roller coaster. I really enjoy movies like that, so I will also give it an A, because you just don't get good movies. And it's just, like you said, it's sad that good movies like that do not get the marketing that it deserves. They'll push a movie that's trash all day, and then, something like this, which, it's a family-friendly movie, like, it's just, I feel a movie.
I don't know about family-friendly. It had some risque parts. You could take your
teenager,
teens and tweens.
Okay.
Yeah, teens and tweens.
Well, okay, yeah.
It got a little racy.
Yeah, it got a little bit. It was. I mean, in today's times, it really wasn't racy though. To be completely honest with you,
I mean, definitely show more risque stuff on cable TV, but I'm just saying, like, it's not completely.
I think 2.5 Men is more risque. Or has
yeah,
been. But yeah,
I'm just saying that I wouldn't necessarily stamp the label of family movie on this one. Unless you had older kids per se, or you just, you just cool. I mean, would I show Dominic that? Probably, because we've talked about these types of things, and he understands what that's about. But everybody doesn't feel that way.
The part I was laughing at, and I guess it wasn't funny, but when she pulled out the pull stick, and that's what they were using. She had on her little, lacy dress, and she puts the pull stick on her shoulder, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this girl!" It was, I don't know, it was like things that I was just like, "Wow, this is crazy."
Yeah, I don't think that was meant to be funny.
I don't think it was meant to be funny, but
we did get a little bit of the giggles on that.
Yeah, because it's something that you don't see, or it's kind of like odd for I guess the average person, because. Most people can be more than 5 feet apart or be less than 5 feet apart from someone. So I was just like, wow, pull stick, that's what you're going to use. But,
I mean, but there's not much else you could use.
But there's not much else you could use.
That became the buffer between the two, the extension of their touch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But all right, that is our review of 5 Feet Apart. Definitely go check out that movie if you have not seen it. Very, very good film. And don't forget to leave any comments. Let us know what you guys think of the film. And don't forget to subscribe so you can be in the know about the different videos that we release. What is going on here?
And on that note,
don't use iPhones. They just do whatever. All right. Peace.